GitHub so that we can understand how to connect our React project. So when I tell what is Git, people will tell Git is also called as GitHub. What is GitHub? GitHub is also called as Git. So people will tell both are actually same, but Git and GitHub are completely different. Now first let's understand what is the usage of this. Git. Students, like what is Git? Any idea from your side?
So a little bit. Yeah, Git is a version control system that can track the versions of our application. Whereas GitHub is a online based place where we can host our application and store our data.
Good. Now what is Git? Git, it is a version control tool. Or system. Now, what is the use of Git? Why do we require it? Let's try to understand. Okay, funny, sure. Let's try to understand by taking one example. Let's assume today the date is 27th or 26th? 27th December. So today the date is 27th December. Today, you started to work on one project in your company. You have created one file. In this file, you wrote some program today. So today you got a new project in the company. You have understood that project and started to write the code. So today you created one file. In that, some lines of program you wrote. Again tomorrow, the date will be 28th December. You need to continue the program. It's not like in one day you can write the entire program, the software will be done. No, you have to continue for so many days. Now, this is the second day. In second day, you have created extra 2 files. So this is the first file you have. Already some part of the program you wrote. You will continue further by writing some other program. And you also created 2 new files where you wrote the program newly. Like this, as days increases, the amount of code you write, the amount of program you write, it will increase. And the files that you create, the count of the files will also increase. Today you have started with one file. Slowly as the days increases, the count of the files will increase and the amount of program that you write in those files, that program also increases. Perfect. Now, finally, the date is 3rd April. Means you were working on that project for around 4 months. During this entire 4 months, so many files you created, so many lakhs of code you wrote on daily basis. On 27th December, some code, 28th, some code, 29th, some code. Like that, so much of program you wrote on daily basis. Now, currently, the date is 3rd April. On 3rd April, your entire program is ready. Your entire program is ready. You will try to execute this program. You will try to check the output. But unfortunately, you are not getting the output. Somewhere there is a mistake that occurred in the program. That mistake, you might have committed it on 2nd April or 1st April, who knows? On 3rd April, when you are running the program, it's not running. It's giving you 10 to 20 error messages. You might have committed mistake on 2nd April, 1st April or 30th March, who knows? From 27th December till 3rd April, in between, in some of the days, you might have committed a mistake. Yes, because of that, you are not getting the output. Okay. Now, somehow you will try to fix that mistake. Fine. You will trace the logic, where I did the mistake, where I did the mistake. You will trace the logic. Finally, you will fix that mistake. Perfect. But you were unable to fix the mistake. You have tried as much as possible, but you could not fix that particular mistake. On 3rd April, there were so many mistakes present in your program, which you are unable to fix it. Now, what you will think? Let me go back to the program that I wrote on 2nd April. Students, on 2nd April, you wrote some program. Did you save a copy of that program anywhere? No. The program that you wrote on 2nd April, in the same program, you wrote some new program on 3rd April. Yes or no? Getting the point? Whatever the programs you wrote on various dates, did you store a copy of those programs somewhere?
No.
No. On 28th, this much of program I wrote. On 27th, this program I wrote. On 29th, this is what I wrote. 27th and 28th program, this is the extra program I wrote. This is the difference between 2 days. Whatever the program you are writing on daily basis, anywhere, are you tracking that program on daily basis? Today, this code I wrote. Tomorrow, that code I wrote. Today's code and tomorrow's code. The difference is this. Again, day after tomorrow's program, I will track it. Such kind of tracking, is it really required for a developer or it's not required?
It should require for a developer.
Yes. Tracking the program, tracking the changes done to your program on daily basis, that tracking is very much required. Because if the tracking is done in the future, that developer can go back to 27th December and check what was the program he wrote. Because the tracking is done, that developer can go back to 28th December and check what is the program he wrote. Yes. Tracking should be done on daily basis. Whatever the programs you write on daily basis, before you end the office, you have to track it. This is the files I created. This is the program I wrote. You have to write it down somewhere. You have to track it so that in future, you can go to whichever the date you want and you can see whatever the programs you wrote on that particular day. The tracking is very much important. Tell me, we understood the importance of tracking. Now, what you will do? Since I told tracking has to be done, you will maintain one notebook. Today, what and all you did it, you will write in that notebook. Tomorrow, what and all you did it, along with that program, you will write in a notebook. Tell me, like this, if you are tracking it manually by writing down in the notebook on daily basis, will it consume more time or will it consume less time?
Manual writing means yes, it will consume. We can't copy and paste, right?
Yes. Whatever the programs you wrote on daily basis, you will write down that program in a notebook and give some description. Again, tomorrow, any changes you did, that changes you will register it and give some explanation for that. Like that, on all the days, what and all program you wrote, what and all changes you did, everything you will write it in a notebook. Now, this is not at all recommended. It will waste a lot of time. What if you lose that notebook? That's it, gone. That is the reason we will use some tools. There are some tools that will automatically track. There are some tools that will automatically track the files present in your project. When I tell files, inside the file code will be there. That code also, it will track it. It will store it. Today is 27th December. This is the code that you wrote. Tomorrow, 28th December. This is the code you wrote. Compared to 27th December, today you wrote this much of extra code. Like that, a tool will automatically track various files present in your project on daily basis. Yes, such tools, we normally call them as version control tools. Version control tools are the tools that tracks the changes done to the various versions of the software. For example, today you will create one file. You call it as the first version. Tomorrow you will do some modifications to that file. Second version. Day after tomorrow, again some modifications. Third version. So that particular file, you will keep modifying it on daily basis. All these things have to be tracked. Such tools, we call them as version control tool. Remember, Git is one such kind of version control tool. There are some other tools which are there in the market. Example, Git, GitLab, Bitbucket. Like this, so many tools are there. But the popular tool is Git. So Git is a tool that will basically track all the files present in your project on daily basis. Today, how much of program you wrote? Who is the name of the developer who wrote? On which date he wrote? On which time he wrote the program? Again tomorrow, compared to yesterday's program, Today, what is the new program he wrote? Everything end to end. Time, date, name of the person, everything. One tool will automatically track. That tool, we call it as version control tools. The most popular version control tool is what? Git. Students, understood what is Git?
Yes, sir.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, I was maybe 2 to 3 minutes late in joining, but I got the overview when you were explaining that
So
program
basically,
updation.
Git is a software that will track the changes that you do to your files on daily
So,
basis.
sir, that is what you have explained,
Yeah,
or
that's what.
maybe this is about Git you have explained.
Yeah, Sahil.
Version control you have
Yes.
explained. Okay,
Okay. Other
okay, okay.
students understood what are version control tools and what is Git?
So, what is the difference between you have explained GitHub or just Git?
Only Git I have explained.
Okay, okay, okay.
Others clear, right? Remaining ones.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now tell me, using Git on daily basis, is it recommended or not recommended?
So, recommended.
Recommended because developers will add so many, he will create so many files. In each and every file, he will add the code, he will remove the code, he will modify the code. What code has been removed? Which code has been added? Which code has been modified? In which file? All these things, if humans has to track manually, it is really not possible. So that is the reason this version control tools like Git has been invented. No need to worry. Everything I will explain it practically in depth once we get some idea on the theoretical part. So what is Git we understood? Sir, then what is GitHub? Before I explain GitHub, let me explain the architecture of Git. Means, I told you, Git is a version control tool which will track the changes that you do. The question is, how Git will track it? What is the architecture of Git? What is the working of Git? What is the architecture of Git? How Git internally works? All these things, let's try to understand it now. Listen to this diagram carefully. Let's assume this is your computer. Inside this computer, somewhere there is one folder. Sir, what is this folder? This folder is like a to-do app. There is one folder. Now, inside this folder, there are some files which are kept. The first file which is present is index.html. Second file is app.js. Third file is style.css. Like this, you have a total of 3 files inside which folder? Inside the to-do app. So this is the first file, second file, and third file. Perfect. Now, you will open index.html file. You will write some program. You will open app.js. You will write some program. You will open style.css. You will write some program. Yes, you created these many files so that you will write some program in these files. Perfect. Now, whatever the program you write in these files, this program you have to track it. Means, what is the name of the developer who wrote the program in these files? What is the program written in index.html? What is the program written in app.js? What is the program written in style.css? On which date these files are created? What time? All these details I want to track, including the program inside those files. That is when I will use Git. Okay, sir, how Git will track it? So what you will do, inside this computer, you will install Git software. Inside this computer, you will install Git software. Once the Git software is installed, now the tracking will be done. How the tracking will be done? Remember, all these files are currently in one directory called as working directory. See, all these files you will open in a Visual Studio Code. From Visual Studio Code, you will start working on these files. As of now, all our files are in which directory? Working directory. Working directory is an area where we work on the code. Working directory is an area where you work on the code. As of now, all these files are in my working directory. Remember this point. Whatever the files that Git has to track, all these files, if it's in the working directory, Git cannot track those files. You created some files in your computer. Those files are in working directory. If the files are in the working directory, Git software will not track it. It is unable to track it. Okay, sir. If Git software has to track these files, then where should these files be kept? Remember, there is one more area called as staging area. There is one more area called as staging area. So this is working area, the area where you are currently working on the files. There will be one more area called as staging area. The files which are present in the staging area, only those files your Git software can track it. But unfortunately, the 3 files that your Git software has to track, these 3 files, is it in the staging area or is it in the working area? These 3 files are in working area. So if these 3 files are in working area, Git software can never track it. Okay, sir. The files which are in the staging, in the working area, these files, I have to move it to the staging area. These files, I have to move it to the staging area. How to move it? There is one command you have to type, which is git add index.html space app.js space style.css. This is the command you have to type. So this command, if you type, these 3 files, index.html, app.js, style.css, will be added automatically to the staging area. Now, In the staging area, index.html is present, app.js is present, finally style.css is present. So these three files are now present in which area? Staging area. Yes, once the files are in the staging area, whatever the changes you do, or once the files are in the staging area, these files, now it will be tracked by the Git software. Students, understood this meaning?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, the files are in the staging area. Now the program present in these files, everything is tracked by the Git software. Sir, how Git software? Okay. So Git software has tracked all the files. Now these files, because they are kept in staging area. But tell me, after the tracking is done, that tracking information, should the Git software store it somewhere, or Git software should not store it?
It should store.
It should store the program present in these files, the name of the person who wrote the program, date, time, all these details. Your Git has to store it somewhere. Yes. So there will be one more area which will be created by the Git software. Sir, which is that one more area? That one more area that will be created is local repository. Local repository, it's like a folder. It's like a folder in your computer. So what will happen? Inside this folder, all this tracked files information will be kept. The program present in each and every file, the name of the developer, date, time, all these details which are tracked will be kept inside a folder in your computer. So that folder which contains the information related to tracking, that folder, we normally call it as what repository? Local repository.
Local.
It's a folder which will be there. Sir, what is the name of that folder? The name of that folder is what, students? What is the name of that folder? It's
.git.
not Git. It's .git. Remember, any folder that is getting created with dot, that folder is a hidden folder. Hidden folder means, will that folder be immediately visible to us? No.
No.
It's a hidden folder. So, in that hidden folder, these files will be kept. And the name of that hidden folder is .git. That's it. So local repository, it's a folder where all the tracked files will be kept. Perfect. Like this, your Git software will track all the files and store it. Now tell me, once the files are in the staging area, these files are tracked. I told you the details which are tracked, these details will be kept in which repository?
Local repository.
But if you tell through mouth, Git, you track the information, put it in local repository. Like that, if you give instructions through your mouth, will Git understand in that manner?
No.
No. So you told Git, by typing this command, you told Git, you push the files from this area to staging area. Same way, if you want to store the tracked information in the local repository, there is one more command you have to type. What is that command you have to type?
Git commit.
So this commit command will make sure you please commit the tracked information and store it permanently inside the local repository. That's it. That is how your Git exactly works. Now, anybody have questions still here?
Sir,
Ah,
so details in the sense the name, date and time, and also the code, correct? The details.
code also will be there. Yes.
Okay, got it. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
Sir,
But code will not be kept as it is in the form of a file. What Git will do na, the program which is there in index.html, that program, it will take a photo or a snapshot. That photo or that snapshot will be kept in the folder. Okay, na?
Yeah, got it, sir.
The program present in each file, a snapshot of that program, a photo of that program will be kept here. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Others? Any question?
Sir, I have connection related issue, sir. Can you repeat last sentence, sir?
What I told is, I told you Git will store the programs present in each and every file in the local repository. So
Yes, sir.
these programs will not be kept as it is in the form of a file. Whatever the program is there, a photo of that program will be taken, a snapshot will be taken. That snapshot will be kept here. Okay?
Okay. Then it can restore it in on this. Okay.
Remember, the programs are there in the local repository. In which format? Directly in the form of a file or in the form of a images?
Maybe .jpg images.
Yes. These files, these image files, we normally call it as blob. BLOB, which stands for binary large object. These files we normally call it as blob files. I will also show you that blob files, all these things. I will show you the program, all these things I will show you practically. Need not worry. But if there are no questions, shall I continue further?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
Now
sir.
tell me, students, tell me, multiple developers will be working on a project. Means everyone will work in your computer only, or they will be writing the code in their own computers.
Their own computers.
Their own computers means in those respective computers, Git software has to be installed. And in every computer, local repository should be there. So that in my computer, if local repository is present, my programs will be tracked. In your computer, if local repository is present, your programs will be tracked. Like that, if multiple developers are working on the same project, whatever the programs they wrote, all those programs will be tracked and kept in a single local repository or in the respective local repositories.
Maybe
In
a
the
single for all.
repositories.
In their respective local repositories, because they're working in their own systems. In the respective local repositories, the program will be kept. But tell me, the program present in the respective local repositories, if there are 5 developers, they will have 5 local repositories. In 5 local repositories, the programs will be tracked and kept. Tell me, the entire program is kept in 5 different computers, in 5 different local repositories. Don't you think there should be a way in which the program present in multiple computers, in multiple local repositories, those programs should be combined and kept in a single place? That would be very good. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, because if you want to run the software, is my program sufficient, or I need to combine the program of all the 5 developers?
You should
To,
combine.
to use the software, the program that I wrote, is that program sufficient, or I need to combine the program which is written by 5 other developers who are working on the same project?
We need to
Combine
combine.
everyone's data.
I have to combine. Now the question is it possible for me to tell them, send your program through WhatsApp, I will use it, I will
No.
combine it. You send your program through WhatsApp, send. Is it possible for me to tell like that?
No.
No. Whatever is there in local repository of their individual computers, from the local repository of individual computers, we have to put everything inside a single computer. Yes or no? Or we have to make sure the program present in multiple local repositories should be combined in a single place. That single place, you can create it by using which tool?
GitHub.
GitHub. So what GitHub will do, using GitHub, you can create something called as a repository. Using GitHub, you will create something called as a repository. Repository, it's like a folder. What will you do once the folder is created? Assume this is the folder. Once the folder is created, now what will happen, you know? For this folder, there will be one link which will be available. There will be one URL which will be available to access that folder. What I will do is, this URL, I will share it to all the 5 developers who are working on this project. I will share the URL of this folder to all the 5 developers, so that all the 5 developers will take this URL. They will get connected to my folder and they will start sending the program present in their local repository to this folder. Everyone will send the program present in their local repository to this folder, so that program written by all the developers will be kept in a single folder. Now this folder, you can create it using GitHub. Understood this point?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Tell me, individual, in every computer we will have which repository? Individually.
Local repository.
But tell me, is this local repository, is this repository local to a computer or global?
Global.
Local.
This repository, we will not call it as local repository. We will call it as what? Remote repository. What is the meaning of remote? Remote jobs means online or offline? A remote job.
Online.
Remote
Online.
job means online job.
Online.
Means somewhere in the internet, you will create this repository.
Yes, sir.
And this repository which is created somewhere in the internet will basically collect the program from multiple local repositories present in multiple computers. Okay?
Yes.
Understood? Students from the local repository, that respective developer should send the program to which repository?
Remote repository.
That is possible by using one command. Which command is that? I wrote it. Git push. When you tell git push, what will happen? All the files which are there in the local repository, which are tracked, those files will be automatically pushed to the remote repository. Clear with this?
Yes.
Now, this is how entire architecture will work. Working area, staging area, local repository, as well as remote repository. Remember, this remote repository, you will create it using GitHub. The first three boxes are related to Git. The last box is related to what?
GitHub.
Global repository.
Yes. So hope you got clarity on Git and GitHub. So Git is used to track the changes done to your programs, and GitHub is basically used for collaboration, or it is not used for collaboration purpose.
GitHub is for collaboration.
GitHub is used for collaboration. And not only that, tell me, you got one offer letter from Google. If you get offer letter from Google, that offer letter, you will store it where? It's very much important. It's like a memory. That offer letter which you got from Google company, where will you store it? You will store it in the computer, or you will store it in a Google Drive.
Google Drive.
Why Google Drive? Sir, if I store it in Google Drive, that will be temporary or permanent?
That will be forever.
Permanent. In the same way, you have worked on so many projects. You have developed a very large project. Now, that large project which you have developed, if you store that project inside your computer, tomorrow, what if the computer gets crashed or something happens to your computer? The project is gone. So what we will do, such projects which are very much important, we will also store those projects in GitHub, so that once the projects are kept in the GitHub, for every project, there will be a URL which will be generated. That URL, you can share it with your friends. If you share the URL with your friends, even your friends can open that URL. They can see your project. They can download it. Getting the point? So it's not only used for collaboration. It is also used to store the projects. Globally, it is used to store the projects temporarily or permanently.